Hey, welcome back. This is Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. You know what? Men are hard to read, and even harder is knowing what he's thinking about your relationship. If you've ever asked a guy what he's thinking, you know what I'm talking about. You're probably desperate to know, what do men look for in a woman? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about dozens of things that he's looking for in a woman from you. And before I slip into the good stuff, make sure you do the other good stuff. Do the big three. Number one, make sure you like and subscribe to the videos. This is awesome stuff. Turn on notifications. That's number two. And of course, if you want to leave me a question or a comment or ask me something or even suggest a video, do that in the comment section below. Don't forget to stick around to the very end because I always slip in one little extra tip after the credits roll. Maybe you want to get married, maybe you want to settle down, start a family, but it's getting harder and harder to win a man's heart, especially if you want him to propose to you. Ultimately, it comes down to just one important thing, and the answer might surprise you. However, before I get to this, I'm going to tease you a little bit on that one. I'm going to tell you a little later on, there are a bunch of traits and behaviors that men are looking for. These are all the different facets of the gem of you that he's looking for. Now, I'm going to talk about a bunch of different traits, but just because there's a lot of them doesn't mean you should feel intimidated or, oh my God, how can I possibly match all that? Don't freak out if you're a good woman inside. It shouldn't be difficult for him to see each one of these qualities in you. This list of traits is what you want to accentuate when you're around him. Chances are you've probably got most of them. They're like love signals, but it also never hurts to make sure you show them. Each time you do, you're going to be cementing yourself inside his heart. So let's dig in. Number one, what a guy wants in a woman is a loving and compassionate heart. You see, men know that a woman with a good heart will be a perfect companion for him. Not because he doesn't have a good heart, but because hers is going to help bring out his good nature along the way. These days, a lot of women appear unfortunately very selfish sometimes, and when they're on a bad day, they can completely look like they're disconnected from their heart. And a man knows this so well that it's one of the most important things that you should be showing him right off the bat, that you've got that love and compassion. Number two, that she's confident. Confidence is one of the most misunderstood traits in women. Most women misunderstand what confidence is and how to show it. Confidence is simply your ability to hold up your boundaries when you need to, and refusing to let other people manipulate you or use you. And honestly, a man looks for this in a woman because, well, he needs to know that you're going to be able to stand up to him and hold your ground. He wants you to be strong. He doesn't want to be able to steamroll you or manipulate you. He also wants to know that she's smart. Intelligence is, well, it's both highly overrated and underrated today. The truth is, a man wants a woman who is smart. Smart enough to give him feedback and help him see things that he doesn't see himself, and smart enough to navigate her own life effectively and successfully. He doesn't just want a woman who reads a lot of books. He wants a woman who can put that knowledge to work. Your feminine wisdom is something he will never have, and especially that intuition. That's why he's looking for it in a relationship with you. Number four is huge. Honesty. Of course he wants this in you. In the same way that you want your man to be honest with you, he knows that you have to be truthful to him. And that means being very truthful about your emotions and what's going on inside you. Men frequently feel manipulated by women. We know that women are more sophisticated at social games than we are, so he has to believe that you have his best interests in mind. Does he know that? That you won't manipulate him just to get your way? That requires your honesty, and it all comes down to trust. Can he trust you? Number five is your fit. This is how I explained it to one of my previous girlfriends in the past. Look, I don't need you to be a skinny stick-bug supermodel. I just need whatever you have on that frame to be healthy and fit. That's it. And this is how most men feel about the woman in his life. He doesn't need you to conform to unrealistic body images. He needs you to simply stay in shape. And seeing you put in the effort towards it is the most important part. That shows him that you really care about staying attractive for him. One of a man's biggest concerns is that you'll just get comfy and you'll let yourself go after you settle into the relationship. That you will change on him. That's really what it comes down to. The beauty of this is that when you're fit and you're staying healthy, well, he's going to feel that same expectation, and he will also stay fit and healthy as well. Number six, you talk about what matters. Let's face it, there are just as many women who don't understand the importance of communication in a relationship as there are men. We talk about everything but what really matters. A man needs you to be open and communicative about whatever is bothering you, as well as whatever you enjoy in the relationship. You have to tell him because he doesn't have ESP. I know, newsflash, but men cannot read your mind. The expectation that he should just know what you need is a common misperception. It comes from you thinking that he has the same abilities that a woman does, right? Just because your girlfriends can figure you out doesn't mean that he can. Men are pretty thick when it comes to figuring out what's going on inside your head. So make sure that you don't make this mistake. Talk about what you want to hear about. Here's one that's a big one. It's stay sexy. This was the advice that someone gave at a bridal party that I once went to. Yeah, I know it was crazy for them to let a guy in on a group of women giving up their secrets, but I managed to get in. This was one of the most valuable lessons I've ever heard, and it's just as true today. You have to stay sexy for your partner. If you want your man to really keep investing himself in your relationship, in your marriage, then you've got to stay sexy. Staying sexy is simply an attitude. It's keeping yourself valuable and valuing yourself. It's looking your best. It's never taking anything for granted in your relationship. And it's keeping the attitude that you, yes you, are a high value woman. He also wants in you, he wants a cheerleader. Men are typically stoic by nature. He doesn't show much emotion, and that means that others might not know when he needs help or support. So in the end, he's going to want you to be his cheerleader, the woman who supports him the most, who doesn't talk down his dreams or his ambitions. So make sure you're giving him the loving support he really needs, but no criticism or judgment. And again, I can't cover every single one of these particular traits today, but if you want to get all of them, go to datingfire.com, which will bring you right to the blog, and check out the article there on what men want in a woman. He also wants a woman that's reliable. If there's one thing men look for in a woman, it's this: reliability. Men also use this trait to figure out if a guy is a good friend to him or not. Reliability is how well you come through for him when he needs you. Can he give you something to do and trust that you're going to get it done? Can he believe that you'll be there when he needs you? Reliability is just another form of trust for a guy, and you can't overlook it. It's actually vital to a relationship with him. Another trait that is extremely important, and I'm thinking of it right now myself, how important it is in my own relationship, is that she can laugh with him. A sense of humor and the ability to laugh at life is such a big deal for a guy. You probably know that a sense of humor in a guy is important for you, right? You want him to be funny, or at least have a sense of humor, but what you might not know is that it's also really important for him. Not only that you are, well, you don't have to be stand-up comedian funny, you don't have to be that funny, but you have to know how to joke about things. You gotta laugh, right? You can laugh, and you don't have an overly sensitive nature, because a lack of humor in a woman often indicates that his love life will be very, very difficult. Men know this intuitively. He wants to know that you're going to be relaxed and cool to hang out with. Again, this is part of that fun side that men want in a woman. A lot of men experience relationships as being a constant walk on eggshells. We don't feel the same kind of relaxed camaraderie that we do in our male relationships. You may have heard guys say that they want that cool chick to hang out with, like one of the guys. Nothing could be truer than that. It really is true. It doesn't mean that you have to act like a guy, by the way. It just means that you are relaxed enough to hang out with the guys. If you find it difficult to be with men in a group, that you're going to find everything disgusting or annoying, he's going to pick up on this. He's probably going to think that you're structured and rigid or just plain uptight. Again, this is something that will block your relationship from growing beyond a superficial romance. And yes, number 17, your values should align. A guy really needs a woman in his life that aligns with what he believes in. When the two people are not in alignment, the relationship suffers horribly. A few of the things he needs in your values are things like the way you view the world, politics and beliefs, the way you treat yourself and other people, philosophy of child rearing and family, money and how you manage it. These things have to match up. When it comes right down to it, it doesn't matter how attractive you are, or really any of your other qualities. If you're not aligned in values, your relationship really doesn't stand a chance. This is why it's so incredibly important for you to find out what his values are along the way. And you gotta do that through forming a connection. He also wants you to have a giving and generous spirit. If there's one thing that's essential for a man, it's knowing that the woman in his life is able to be a nurturing force. This is one of the reasons that men get into a relationship in the first place. Men don't carry the same kind of skill and ability for nurturing that women do. Duh. This is why the role of a mother is so important in a child's life. Okay? A guy will look at how generous and giving you are to help him figure out if you're a good match for him. So keep in mind that this also includes how compassionate you are. Consistency. It's especially important to a guy that you are consistent with him, meaning that you don't constantly change your attitude and the way you treat him with every passing mood. He has to feel like your love for him has to be constant and unshakable. When anyone experiences love that is erratic or inconsistent, what that does is it creates anxiety in that person. You may have felt this when a guy wasn't fully invested in your relationship. You never really knew if he was there for you, right? And that led you to feel anxiety and uncertainty in your relationship. That's something that men don't want either. So the more constant you are, the more consistent you can be, the more he will love you for it. You also have to have your own thing going on. You may have heard this explained to you in the past as having your own life. It probably comes up in every single article that talks about what men want in a woman. What this means is basically that you are not simply focused on a relationship as your number one goal in life. You've got your own thing going on. You've got your own hobbies and interests. You're not in a holding pattern waiting for the right guy just to come along. As they say in all the books, make sure you have your own life together because no man wants to be your rescue project, okay? Challenge. This is one of the traits that most women have forgotten about, and yet it's the most important thing you can have. The most important thing you can have that will attract a man into falling in love with you. It doesn't do the whole job, but it does most of the legwork for you. It's a simple fact that a woman who can challenge a man creates tension that drives up his attraction for her. Sexual tension is the key to creating a relationship that lasts the test of time. Period. If you look at any relationship that has lasted years and years, the relationship they have is loving because each one of them has challenged the other person in healthy ways. It's that simple. And men want a super listener. I've probably turned away half the women that I've dated in my lifetime, probably more, simply because she wouldn't listen to me. I'd never really felt like the woman was hearing me. And by listen, what I mean is that she didn't really seem to hear who I was underneath it all. She may have nodded and, looked attentive, made eye contact, but what she was really doing was waiting for her chance just to say something. Now, I've had women that were so bad at listening to me that I would end the date as early as I could just to get away from them. In the same way that it probably hurts you when a man isn't heard, it's actually painful for us. Men don't have the same kind of social conversation outlets that women do. So we want to make sure we're connecting with a woman and she's hearing us. We don't share very much to our male friends. So when we're with a woman, we expect a kind, feminine, listening ear. And this is, by far, the most valuable thing you can give him. Now, there's a simple trick to getting a guy to feel all of these things that I'm talking about. Earlier, I told you that it comes down to just one important thing. And this might surprise you. In the end, all you have to do is make him feel connected to you. That's it. I know, you're thinking, what? Isn't that what you want, though? Isn't that what you're looking for, to feel connected? And the only way to do that, really, is to know how to make that bridge to him, how to get into his heart, how to make that connection. Now, this is something I teach to women that are on my coaching programs or who have bought my programs, and I also give it away for free on my newsletter, which is what you should be on now if you're not already. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you something even better. I'll give you a bonus today. Why not get your questions answered at the same time? Now, I can't answer every single question that comes my way, but I do my best to reach out and respond to as many emails as I get every single day. So what you can do is you can submit a question to me here. Go to datingfire.com/Ask Carlos. That's datingfire.com/Ask Carlos. Go on over to that page. There's a little form on there. You can throw in your question, whatever it might be, relationships, dating, whatever. Go there, put in your email address, put in your question. You just put it in and you're going to get my VIP newsletter every week. And I'll also give you my free ebook on the 7 reasons that men pull away from relationships. You can find out how to make him love you again. You can find out how to know if he's still interested in you, why he's not committing to you. Why does this distance keep coming back in? Go find out. You can get the free ebook, you can get a question answered, and my newsletter. What could be better than that, dude? Yes, I just called you dude. Hey, go on and do it. You don't even have to put in a question, by the way. Just fill out the form, put in your email, and you can get the rest of the stuff for free. Go on over to datingfire.com/Ask Carlos. Hey, don't forget to do the big three. Make sure you like and subscribe to the videos. They're awesome. Why wouldn't you? You lasted this long, you should. And of course, make sure you turn on reminders so you know when the next one comes out. And if you got any other questions or you want to suggest a video, leave that in the comment section below. And stick around in a few more seconds. I've got another tip for you after the credits roll. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com. As always, live and love with passion. Here's one that's probably a little cliche, but it's important. He also wants to know that you're a capable communicator. When it comes right down to it, a guy just doesn't have the same communication skills that a woman does, at least not in a relationship. That's why he relies on her to be a good communicator. She's got to be able to talk about her feelings, talk about his feelings, explain her needs and desires clearly, find ways to tackle the issues of the relationship without adding more conflict in. Now, you might think that I'm saying that you have to do everything. No, I'm not. What you do have to do is make sure you take some responsibility for starting most of the communication. And yes, he'll have to live up to his part as well. And you have to be willing to hold him accountable for that.